Hello, friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Beehive. Today, we will learn summary of three questions. Three Questions is the short story written by eminent Russian writer Leo Tolstoy. In this story, he had described the dilemma of the king in making decisions. Once there was a king. He had three questions. The first, what is the right time to do anything? Second, who are the people he should consult with? And the third, how to decide what is the most important thing to do. The king thought that if he will come to know answers of these questions, he will not fail to do anything and take any decision. The king had sent messengers in the kingdom. He declared that whoever will give right answers of all these three questions will be rewarded. Many wise men from his court and kingdom came forward to answer his questions. For the first question, the king was suggested to prepare a timetable and follow that strictly. Another person said that the king should do whatever he feels necessary at the moment. The other wise men said that the king should consult with magician and wise men and take decision. To answer second question of the king, some people suggested that the people the king most needed are the counselors. Some suggested that the priests and the doctors, while some people said that warriors are the most necessary people. The king wanted to know what is the most important thing to do. He was suggested science is the most important thing, whereas some people suggested warfare. Others mentioned that religious worship is the most important thing to do. The king was not satisfied with the answers and suggestions he had received. Finally, he decided to consult with the hermit who was well known for his wisdom. The hermit was living in the outskirts of jungle. He used to meet only to common people. So the king decided to put on simple clothes and leave his bodyguard behind, and he went alone. When the king met the hermit, he was digging beds. The hermit was an old and weak man. The king asked his questions to the hermit, but the hermit did not reply and continued with his work. The king took spade from hermit and began to work in his place. The king repeated his questions, but the hermit did not reply. This continued for a long time. It was evening. The sun began to sink behind the trees. Both of them noticed that a bearded man was running out of jungle. The bearded man came and fell down before the king and the hermit. The bearded man had deep wound in his stomach. It seems as if somebody must have stabbed him. The king washed the wound and bandaged it with the handkerchief and a towel. After a long time and many efforts, the bleeding stopped. The king brought fresh water and gave it to the bearded man. Due to hard work, the king was very tired, so he slept on the threshold. The king had a sound sleep. When he woke up in the morning, the bearded man apologized the king in weak voice. The king did not understand the reason behind it. The bearded man confessed that he wanted to kill king, as the king had killed his brother and seized his property. he decided to take revenge against the king. The bearded man was hidden in the bush, but when he came out of it, the king's bodyguard attacked and stabbed him. Somehow he escaped from them. The bearded man felt guilty because he wanted to kill king, but the king himself saved his life. The bearded man decided to serve king faithfully and he apologized for his act. The king was glad to see that he made peace with his enemy and gained a faithful friend. The king forgave the bearded man and asked his servant to return his property. When the king approached to the hermit last time to know the answers of his questions, the hermit replied that the king had already been answered. Hermit mentioned that if the king had not dug those beds for him, he would have been attacked. So the most important time was when he was digging the beds, and the hermit was the most important man because he was with him by that time. The king was helping hermit, so that was the most important business. In the next situation, when the king attended that wounded man, that was the most important time, and the bearded man was the most important person. When the king bandaged his wound, that was the most important business. The hermit gave a message that the most necessary man is he with whom you are. No man knows when you will ever have to deal with anyone. And the most important task is to do good, because for that purpose alone, man sent into life. Thanks for watching.